Well, yes. You know, the path that you try to follow in terms of making films has sort of remained quite similar over the last 5 or 6 years, which is that you find your film, you budget it, you figure out where you can shoot it, where you can get a significant percentage of the budget back from a local tax incentive or tax credit or soft money. Then once you figure out what the real cost of the movie is going to be after you've gotten your incentive, then you go out and you try to figure out what the international rights of those films are going to be worth, and you try to sell off some of that. Then you try to get a gap loan against what hasn't been sold, and then you try to raise equity to fill up the difference. So that's the way that most people make movies these days, and that's the way that that I'm still trying to make films. Of course, you know, if you're lucky enough, that method of financing films was really kind of pioneered, and we were a part of it too. At William Morris in the early days, was pioneered as a way to not have to rely on the American distribution companies to get your films made, because there aren't that many of them. You know, there's maybe 9 or 10 distribution companies that are significant, and there's way more movies being made than they could possibly say yes to. So the way to do it, and also to maintain some creative freedom in the process of making films, was to set them up in the way that I'm describing, and use equity as the sort of the gap financing against American rights, so that then you could make the film, and then if you were right that it was going to turn out to be a great movie, then you could go to a film festival and sell off the American rights for the film and find the distribution company that actually wanted the movie. I'd seen so many instances where American distribution companies got involved in films prior to them being made, and then they saw the film after it was done, they didn't like it, and they basically dumped it, and other distribution companies saying, God, I wish I'd had that movie. So that was also a reactionary way of financing movies, was to set it up in such a way that you could end up with a distribution company that really loved your movie when you'd actually made it already. It takes a lot of people to help get movies made. And then when you actually make the movie, it takes a huge crew of people to actually make it. So, you know, people see movies and go, oh, the director made that movie. Well, the director kind of did, but there were a lot of people that were involved in the creative process with them, and collaborating with them and helping them make great movies. So, you know, when you're going off to make a movie, think about who your cinematographer is. Think about who your production designer is. Think about who the editor is. Who's going to do the music? Who's actually written the script? And can you collaborate with them and make it better? You know, there's a lot of people involved in making films. And then, of course, the producers.